been doing his job at the very least, and I think given time, Bio could find himself back in the groove.
I do think that the additions to the team, especially Slash, has allowed Vertical to go off a lot more, though. And I think that's been an enhancement, whereas, like you said, Slash and Bio have been struggling a little, especially on their site anchoring. But it's really helped Vertical. We will be going to Kafe, and that, of course, is DZ's choice. They have played it a little bit more than Rec, because Rec played it once this season, and they lost pretty badly. It was, I believe, a 3-7. Whereas DZ have had a little better performance on it. They had a pretty good scoreline in their win against it, but it was against EG, so I don't know if that counts for as much given EG's current situation. Whereas they had a draw against E United, so they've shown like they're good at it, but this isn't necessarily their best map.
This isn't actually a very good map for Reciprocity. I think that's a really important thing to take away.
Really,
it's in for both teams a kind of meh map, to be honest. So we're not going to see like the 10 out of 10 performance necessarily. Depends on who's prepped it most recently. I will say that clearly there, it looked like Reciprocity was banning for Coastline. What do you guys think? Who's gonna get this match? Gonna take it in the end? Oh wow!
All right, well.
Once again, I think that that's a little bit one-sided.
I mean, knowing the map now and how the map bans went down, I would agree with this more. Not knowing them, I probably would have been a little bit more balanced.
I don't know. The map's not good for either team. Like really,
I just mean because DZ had the choice of which map to go to. So the fact that they pushed it to this map makes me think they prepped for this map. Like you're saying, who prepped most recently? I would guess it's more likely to be DZ.
Yeah, no, I could agree with that sentiment. At least, again, it looked like Reciprocity was banning for Coastline. But, I mean, we're going into it now. We'll see what we actually see when we get the action underway. It's just going to be Reciprocity on defense, which means they will ban first. We'll see who they get rid of.
In theory, they should have some advantage on defense first, so maybe that will help kind of get their groove going before things start getting crazy. And Thatcher bans, not unexpected at this point, as we were discussing earlier.
It's actually it's the most popular attacker ban for both of these teams is Thatcher, and oh my, it'll be coupled with a Thermite ban as well. That's got to be rough for the attack. Probably a Mira Echo Maestro, one of those, for any of these teams.
Oh.
But no, a sidestep into a Goyo. Okay, so
keeping it spicy.
I think that's actually kind of cool because we're seeing now when the problem that Thermite Thatcher bans present slightly alleviated by the Goyo ban and the Mozzie as well. It's completely different here. This is way different in the defensive ban phase than usual.
I think these are in some ways better ones just because they're more on meta. Because everyone's just gotten so used to the other ops being banned that when they're unbanned, I don't think they're as impactful as you would think, given how permabanned they seem to be. Goyo, I don't think we actually even saw last match on Kafe, which is odd because he is very strong on this map because just the way he can really stall things out. So we'll see how much this affects things, but I do think these are pretty influential defender bans. That's going to put a little bit of Reciprocity on the back foot. They will exploit the two, well, I was going to say, and then laxing 6 picks off, but the two normal bans that would get banned here getting exploited, but at least one of them will by Fox.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is like, when you sidestep into a Goyo and a Mozzie, now suddenly, there's Maestro, Echo, Valkyrie, Mira, all the things available. It's pretty crazy.
For this site in particular, though, this is definitely one where Mira will be effective. The other sites, it varies a little bit more. I think this is definitely the strongest site for Mira, particularly because of the Mira windows you see set up on the cocktail side and how effective those can be from stopping any kind of bar push. But either way, you're always fighting Heaven, and it's really more the freezer control that you get extra from the one Fox is setting up right now. That becomes the extra detriment to the attack. An attack is not bringing any smokes, and that's where it can be a little bit of a problem here. I think if you know you're going to be facing against Mira, and Capitão's unbanned, that is a strong pick I think you can make to smoke off those windows and give yourself a chance to make a plant, especially given the current Wamai Jaeger meta. So I think that might have been a better choice, but obviously we'll see how DZ's attack goes down. Maybe they'll have a good plan for this, because again, they're not going to have any smoke to cover plants, so they're going to really have to push for that control of Heaven side.
Loading full magazine.
Buck the soft destructor instead of a sledge. Gonna try and open up those drop downs on the roof. Next step is control of red stairs, then you go for piano, blah, blah, blah. Same stuff that you always see on a piano execution. There's nothing too crazy going on here. Got the Nomad for the flank watch. Got the soft destruction aplenty. No Zofia being brought, though, which is different. Habana is going to be essential for the mirror windows. If there's anybody inside of back bar storage, then the Habana won't be able to open up the mirror window. But, you know, you may as well try.
Well, they're going to at least try and get some angles going here in the moment. As soon as they can get a little bit more control, at least Eclipse in the meantime taking advantage of the fact that Hot Cold, with the diffuser of all things, had already taken control of Cigar. It must have been droned as pretty safe for him to come in with the diffuser like that. But they're trying to set up now for him to be able to open angles, I imagine, in Freezer. So he's just waiting for the opportunities. Although he may actually be used to shoot the X-Cows across if they know, as you mentioned, the Freezer being clear or not. If it is clear, then those X-Cows become a little more safe. Hyper, though, catching a run out on Laxing. Nicely done. You gotta expect Valkyrie cameras over on that side of the map. It's pretty common. There we go. Hot and Cold, though. Wow.
Auden gets another one there. So DZ racking up the early kills. The setup for Reciprocity not really working as it's left them very exposed. And it's okay to be very exposed if you're winning your gunfights, but that's not happening right now for Reciprocity. Could change at any moment, and there it is. Biologic with the run out, and he'll take down Hyper. The drop, though, is going to be in for DZ. Reciprocity responding, but Mint getting his own kill. And cocktail control for DZ, which is going to allow for a plant by the main bar. Still plenty of presence here for Reciprocity, though, if they can stop this plant, but they can't. Fortunately for them, Evil Eye will persist thanks to that ADS directly underneath it. Eclipse does not have any more Ash charges. An attempted retake here for Reciprocity. It's not going to be a very easy one, though, as DZ is very well set up to hold this in the post-plant. And they're doing just that. Oh, it's going to be Vertical swinging wide. He'll get 2 big kills, and Biologic gets the 3rd. It's Vertical to get the disable. In the end, Reciprocity will take round number 1, although just narrowly.
I mean, overall, that was a pretty good take from DZ. They were able to get control of Cocktail very swiftly, not to mention ending up with kills from the Habana, who's just trying to get things set up. It's just the retake they just really could not hang with, and it certainly didn't help that, of course, they tried to destroy the Evil Eye and did not pay attention to an ADS because, well, you're not going to be hunting for ADSs when you take Cocktail control. You're going to be expecting retake, and you're going to be watching angles, trying to fight fights, so it's understandable. It's just one of those small things that gave a bit of extra intel to the defenders, helped them with that retake, so little things like that, obviously they'll have to correct. But overall, I thought that was a pretty good attack from DZ, just not enough solid defense of the retake. They also maybe just didn't have enough picks to be able to do that. You got to watch out, though. Doing those runouts like Laxi did are starting to be a little risky, and losing a player that easily who has a C4 and who's going to be vital sometimes to that defense. So that probably wasn't the best part of that play, but at the end of the day, since Reciprocity won it, I guess who could fault them? They will be going for a mirror window use down here on reading, but this time they're going to have Wamai and Jaeger combo. Although I don't think they're bringing, they're only bringing 1 shield, and that's from Slash on a Wamai. So they will have a little bit of shield play here. A lot of denial. It does make sense to use quite a bit of that Wamai and Jaeger. Inside reading itself, though, especially because a lot of what they're going to be doing to try and get inside a reading is going to be throwables, either from above or from the doorways. So you do want to take advantage of that. And without the Thermite, they're unlikely to be able to open up the wall itself from pillars, as we saw done in the last match. So there probably will be angles, at the very least, opened by Hot and Cold, depending on the control they get there. See how this goes down. That was a pretty swift attack from DarkZero. Thus, we'll see if their time management is as good this round, because now they've got to fight a 2-floor defense as opposed to just attacking just a single top floor. But it was overall swift enough, like what we saw from them, or what we saw from Tempo Storm in terms of just being a lot better time management.
Yeah, I mean, the time management's been pretty good so far from the attack, but only 1 round in, of course. The big thing is the assertiveness of the play from DZ, but yeah, Reciprocity with the bounce back, and it comes back to what you were talking about earlier, Devin, which was allowing Vertical to play a little bit more freely, and he certainly has been doing just that. He's been doing a great job of, just as an individual, putting up the performance that's necessary to hold rounds together for Reciprocity. I really do think DZ probably should have been able to take that one, but because Vertical was allowed to get into the position he wanted with those kills, not so. A really, again, impressive performance from him.
Yeah, he's been definitely standing out as a player in terms of being able to play more like I expected from him when he joined this team. And so that's been really good to see. Obviously, a fragger doing his fragging thing here. But overall, Team Reciprocity playing decent Eclipse, taking a little bit of damage there, trying to get control here, but they don't have complete control of Pixel. And of course, this is where the white stairs or white hallway area meets into Christmas. They do have control here of Cigar. They're using that to open up angles into Bar. And of course, they've got to take Cocktail. They took it, talked about very efficiently last round, but this is not even the site this time. They still have to take it regardless. They do see the shield. Don't get a drone behind it, though, because of the mute jammer, so they need to know whether or not someone's playing behind that shield. That's going to be the important part. Yeah. Still droning it. There we go. We see that there are 2 players.
At least they're getting control of top floor, and they will get Slash off of that top floor control, so that's the most important thing. DZ have just done a great job, at least, of taking up stairs, but it's taking them 2 minutes to get that control, and that's really big. Luckily for DZ, they're going to be able to open up from above, though, now using these operators they've got, like the Buck. Clips, though, eliminated by Vertical as he rushes up the white stairs. That shouldn't have been allowed to happen.
Good attempt with the C4, but really it's probably going to have to be more run-ups. And nice flank, but Bio trades it out on the Mint, who made a good play. Just there was 2 men there ready for it, ready for that trade. So now it's up to potential site hold it at best, as top-down control is going to be pressuring players out of position and reading. But we've got at least 1 player off site. Nope, a couple of them. So it looks like they possibly might have to go for a retake. Right now, it's going to be DarkZero just trying to clear out the site and make sure they can push into it. They're going to have to be doing a little bit of droning as well, just so they know what they're pushing into. That's going to slow them down. 15 seconds left to go to push into this, though. And it just, time is not on their side. Laxing here, hanging out just outside the site, looking for angles in. They've got to fight Launcher, but he's not prepared for it. Hyper takes him down. Quick rotates from the defense, actually punished by Skies. Fox gets 1 though as well. He's going to be able to stop this defuse. Nope, he's not going to. Plant goes down. He's trying to fight 2 through the window, and he's the one to go down. Skies just winning it narrowly there. Great attack by DarkZero, but a little close on time. So, nicely done. DarkZero, a little slower than they would like, but their top-down control working out for them at the end. Some great retake attempts at control by Reciprocity. Thankfully, punished fair enough from DarkZero. They were able to trade those back often enough. Good coverage once they had that control. We'll see how they go the second time around, though. Here it's going to be reading again. So 1-1, both teams showing they can make this work here, but I like the retakes from Reciprocity. The way they're playing flexibly off-site is working to some extent. DarkZero, though, are getting a lot more map control early than I think Reciprocity are always ready to retake and handle, but I do like that they're set up for trades on some of these flanks. We will have still the Nomad to try and stop them on that, but overall they've been doing a decent job of being able to push around that. We will see the same operators, I believe, here for the same site, so makes sense. They're just going to try it again. Overall, it wasn't too bad. I think they're just going to maybe try and delay a little bit longer upstairs. See if they can hold off Bar. Because overall, they did a good enough job holding it for such a long period of time. It put a lot of pressure on DarkZero trying to take that. But they will be prepared for that this time. And so I got to imagine if you're DarkZero, you're going to want to try and do a swifter roam clear. Might even send someone downstairs to go do a roam clear downstairs. Maybe even the Ash of Eclipse to go do the solo kind of drone for yourself Ash roam clear that we see. Just to make sure that, you know, you don't have anyone late flanking, late retaking, things like that. But they will again have the Wamai and Jaeger just trying to stop any throwables from being super impactful and burn up as much utility. I think that did help a little bit with delaying last round as well, especially on the side of Cocktail, where you're expecting a lot of throwables to try and contest you. I hope the mute jammers are able to do a decent job of denying the drones for them. But at the same time, the Mozzie ban actually does help here. And the Mozzie ban was made by Rec, actually. They'd be the one benefiting from it right now, in combination with the mute, just to slow things down a little bit more. As DarkZero are looking to drone effectively, at least. Make sure that they're not pushing blindly into a lot of these fights. They're just mostly getting caught off on trades. We'll see them trying to take swift control of the Cigar side again, if they can. They spot a couple of the players in front of the shield, oddly enough, on the Cocktail side. See if they can get this control quickly. Relatively uncontested, no one trying to peek just yet. We'll see if they're able to get this control quickly. They're just establishing Christmas control. Again, relatively uncontested. This is the part of the attack that's not really being pushed back on by Reciprocity. The more concern was staying alive, which is, you know, probably the right thing to do. Let's see if they can push this. This is where it counts. If they can push this mirror window and take the Cocktail side quickly without losing players. Eclipse picking up the first one on vertical. Great initial pick. Here's Max Kairos being shot off though, but there's still enough going off to take out the mirror window. So good on DZ to try and make this happen. A little bit more efficient on time management this time, but they've got to clear out this bathroom, it looks like. And my discs are making it a little more difficult. They might have just dropped the player behind the shield. We got to check for more gadgets. My doing a good job pulling gadgets away. There we go. Nice C4 by Fox in the meantime. So overall, Reciprocity still pushing back against this Will. But having lost vertical is not a great start. Losing skies, though, definitely will help things for Reciprocity, as it'll be a little bit less top-down pressure, as they don't have any backup to that. They might have some breach charges, though.
Top 4 control established for DZ, though. That's the big thing, and they'll also use that to get a kill onto Slash. So Reciprocity suffering some casualties thanks to this upstairs control. Pillar's control so well in hand. Even more holes opened up, this time by the Excaros. That's a little bit odd for DarkZero. With that, though, they're going to be able to get a better angle deep into the bomb site. Reciprocity, just 3 left, trying to avoid this pressure being opened up from the breach charges. Because Skies was killed earlier on, he's not going to be able to open up nearly as much as he would have liked to have. Or, well, anything really. Not much time for the execution. The mirror window is going to make this very difficult as well, although it has been dealt with. Foxay will get Eclipse, though, after Eclipse deals with the mirror window. The push from Foxay, though, is going to be important. He'll get the stop on the defuse. And it's going to be 0-0-0 for Mint. No chance of him winning this round. Great job to DarkZero, but Reciprocity doing a better job at managing that time.
Yeah, overall, just it's the game of delays. If they can delay long enough, there's not a ton you can do about it as an attacker if you can't just take some confident picks and get enough pressure on them to hold them off. Flank watch is obviously really important in that, and that's why they're bringing the Nomad to try and hold that back. As I've said before, seems to be sometimes a bit more effective than the gridlock tracks. Overall, this is a map where we used to see a lot of gridlock, and maybe it's just DZ not really feeling like that is effective anymore, because it was actually Eclipse that was the one that who was really pushing that to begin with on this map on a different team. But we will see Bar try it again here. So now we've got Reciprocity in the driver's seat. It took them a couple tries to win reading, but they did so. So now they can go back to Bar. I imagine we will likely see Kitchen from them at some point if they can continue to win. But I think Bar, it was a pretty confident attack from DZ last time on it. So this is really, Reciprocity going to have to do a bit more to stall out the Bar push at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely going to need to slow down that take upstairs. Luckily for Reciprocity, they didn't get that buck last round, and that's pretty much the key thing. I think that might have changed the outcome overall, because you could see how DZ was struggling with their soft destruction on getting the control that they really wanted from above. And once it was established, it was too late to use, so DarkZero just had to go for the execution. Now, top 4 defense here for Reciprocity. They're just going to do their best to, I guess, buff the assault upstairs. This time, though, it's less the roamers, more the anchors, so it's a very different story.
Well, a lot of soft destruction being used here by the defenders, trying to set up a lot of angles. That Bar is definitely one that we used to see open pretty frequently. Maybe not as much lately, but it's going to be a lot harder, a lot slower to do so with the ITA. And we'll see the typical attack. I mean, the first, say, 20 seconds of this round has been pretty predictable, regardless of the site. Just the usual. I mean, there's so little variation to the way they attack this. Just take top red control, push into Christmas and Cigar, and take control of that. And it's been relatively uncontested. The difference here now is they're going to be playing the Wamai shield in Pixel, and with the Wamai discs and the Jaeger ADS is trying to stall that out as long as possible. They also are going to have the Echo this time, so he's going to be able to do a little bit to slow things down if he can stay alive towards the end of the round when they go for that plant on. Wow, Fox again. Second C4 kill for him in a row now. Nicely done, and that's on the Mint. So that means Nomad air jabs that were not set up, which is probably most of them, will now no longer be placed, and that will give a lot more flexibility to late roams. Especially players like Laxing.
Yeah.
Generally take advantage of that.
That's a really important zone for sure for DarkZero to lose. Nomad, hard operator to fill the gap of. Looks like they want to take control underneath the bomb site so they can open up under Cocktail specifically using those Ash charges. Hyper's there to assist, getting rid of information tools that would be used to slow this down. They should be able to open up underneath Cocktail now, do some damage. Ash charge used to get rid of one of the Electro Claws. And it's definitely going to be a more east-focused take for DZ than we're used to seeing. That's for sure.
I like that they're looking to put pressure onto the cocktail windows, though. That definitely helps if you could get away with it. But wow, speaking of get away with things, Slash, a nice kill down on Hyper. This is actually falling apart for DZ because not a single scratch on Reciprocity left at the moment. Less than a minute left, and they haven't even cleared out this Wamai yet. This is, yeah, I don't see this going DZ's way unless they could just frag out here.
Well, they are going to start things off well with a kill onto Houghton, but Foxay will respond. Foxay's been doing a great job. He's still inside of Cigar. He'll get 3 kills in the round. Slash gets his second. On Reciprocity, yet another successful defense here. They're looking pretty solid on that defensive side.
Well, they're definitely looking to take advantage of the bans that weren't done, the Mira and the Echo, for example, and just play them to their advantage, right? Hey, you guys are going to ban stuff that we might use. Well, we'll take advantage of what you leave on the table. We'll see how that goes for Kitchen, though, as we have yet to see that defense from them. This will be the first time, but it's been pretty Reciprocity sided. Even the sides that DZ have won, the one attack that they won, still was pretty good for Reciprocity. So we're gonna have to see something different from DarkZero, and it's not like DarkZero playing bad. They're playing fairly efficient. They're trying to do what they can to get in swiftly and get the time that they can. Problem is, Reciprocity they're better set up for trades. They're better in their defensive positions at either buying time or getting picks towards the end on those retakes. And it's DarkZero unable to really take map control and then hold flanks solid enough to stop Reciprocity. Also, Reciprocity getting off C4 kills, for example, from Fox is certainly helping things out.
Definitely. The overall execution there from DZ was lacking in that they were unable to take control of Cigar in the first place, which I think is like that first step really that you need in order to really facilitate an execution anywhere. And their focuses were still in other places. Like, I mean, they're trying to take on the east side. They're trying to do other things. And if you want to eventually use Cigar, then you need to take it for sure. But wasn't happening for the DZ side. Reciprocity, really solid defense as well. Foxay, look at that. 8 kills, really coming alive as an individual. And giving Reciprocity a little bit of an edge.
He's definitely benefited from the roster changes, I think. Fox has really been, I mean, he's always been actually probably the most consistent player for this team, but I think he's actually had a chance to shine. Him in Vertical, like I said, so much more since the change-ups, and that's been beneficial to Reciprocity, I think. Definitely.
Now, what I was talking about before the match is that it's going to take time for your players to acclimate and the building process to really begin. And I think we've seen Reciprocity have, again, those moments where they clearly look like they have had that time. This is one of those moments, I'd say. An attempted clear of Cigar. Very quick drone work from DZ is going to force that player who was playing in Cigar from Reciprocity to fall back. A little bit of time wasted. At least one drone eaten up, though, for DZ. Flank watch drone set up. Control of piano established. Possibly the top floor. Yep. This, again, really efficient drone work. Super important for DarkZero. And it's allowing them to get the control as quickly as they are. And I gotta say, this has been really fast for the top floor.
Especially when they've got to take control of 2 floors here rather than just one. Because, you know, they've got to take top down, meaning, you know, the top floor, the middle floor, and then attack kitchen. And that takes time because when you're sitting there trying to get picks through the floor in mining, that takes time while you're setting up to go for pushing. You've got to clear things like VIP and lobby. As we see Fox still playing aggressively in that area relatively. But at least they're looking for these flank retakes, right? They're prepared for them a little bit more. You see Hyper prepared for pushes coming as they try and take control of the middle floor, just sweeping it out as fast as they can because they know they need this extra time. They potentially got to clear that hatch as well inside dining. But they're doing a good job checking off the boxes. They've still got time left to make this work. The only downside here of this is, of course, they have yet to get any damage or picks onto the members of Reciprocity. Look at this. Just vertical high. Oh, wow. Nicely done. The Batman move there by Eclipse.
I don't know if that was the right call there for Vertical to be standing in the middle of the bakery doorway. That, to me, seems like a little bit too much aggression, and it's been punished by DarkZero, who will now have the man advantage when it comes to the execution. Stun's going into bakery to try and clear out ADSs. Want to open up that soft wall into prep. Eclipse is going to get that done. Foxay playing by small bakery. He'll be able to put some pressure onto bakery itself, possibly go for a run out here, but he's trying to time it correctly. The repellent is heard over by pillars, so he knows it's happened, but he can't react to it. Here's the run out from Foxay over by bakery. He'll hit his shot. Eclipse goes down. That's the 9th kill for Foxay, who's on an absolute tear. Hyper will shut him down, though, as he attempts to rotate. Biologic getting Hyper in response, and in the main lobby is still laxing. Meanwhile, the plant's gone down, and DZ has the semblance of site control. But they got to be very careful. The retake from Reciprocity. Biologic with the shotgun, probably going to win this fight. Doing his best to do so, but he loses to Hot and Cold. Amazing. Slash will get it with the Evil Eye, but look at this. Skies from above. He should be able to hold this in the post plant using a very long angle and a soft destruction. He's going to avoid the angle and go somewhere else. He could have opened an angle to see that, but no, he'll rotate in its entirety. And I'm looking at a slideshow, but I think he's trying to get into the site. Yeah, he won't make it in time. Again, there was an angle there that we've seen used before, but not used in this case. Possibly not achievable due to reinforcement, maybe? But whatever the case be, Skies, too far afield, not able to deny the disable.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate for Skies. Whether it was a mistake or not, I don't know the exact angles that would have been doable, but it certainly didn't work out on the rotate. That was just too far for a 2-speed to be able to make it all the way. And, a loss at the end of the day is a loss. I'd like to see them be able to pull it back a little better than that, because that was definitely much closer. They were able to get the plant down. Bio whiffing way too many shots. He got the initial damage, but being unable to finish it with the shotgun there just mistimed, unfortunately for him. But at the end of the day, his teammates were there to pick it up, as they've been doing so well. Obviously, Fox died on a trade out earlier, but the fact that he was able to get the jump out outside and get that kill was great. It was unfortunate they lost vertical early due to, as you said, a little bit of a misplaced standing outside of the bakery door. I mean, it was an interesting idea, but he just didn't have the intel to be able to play that safely. We will see their final defense be on reading, which actually is the only site that they've lost on. But hey, they can play it again, so they've got to do the rotation, and they don't want to play mining.
Possible that they'll be able to take reading. It's definitely a difficult site to manage for some teams, and we'll see if Reciprocity is going to be able to make it work the second time around. Now, everywhere else, everything's been working great for Reciprocity, as you can see by the scoreline. The defense really coming alive. I'd say Foxe in particular having a really great individual performance. Foxe on Mira is the really scary thing. He's dropping 3Ks, 4Ks on Mira pretty frequently, actually. And it's causing a lot of problems for DZ. His play on that operator he's usually somewhere that you just don't expect him. And as he goes unnoticed, he'll like tear open into 2 people and then win the 3rd follow-up gunfight.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even necessarily like Mira play per se that's really hurting DZ. It's Fox's performance
it's on Mira. Yeah,
absolutely.
He's been doing really great on that operator, and it's not an easy operator to play. So keep in mind, Mira is one of those 3 armors that a lot of people don't like to play, just because the Vector is, for some people, not a very comfortable weapon. For others,
nice pop.
Yeah, that was a good job on the Mira window. C4 missed as well. For others, it's a really, really powerful weapon. It just depends on the preference and how they actually use them. Yeah. Now, in this round so far, DZ expending a lot of utility, so that's really good progress in of itself.
Yeah, a little bit different lineup this time here. They'll be looking to deny a little bit differently, but at the end of the day, I mean, the way Reciprocity plays it is pretty similar. It's let's hold them off as long as possible. Let's get a few people in sight, but then let's play for these flank retakes and take advantage of the fact that it's a 3-floor map. And it's definitely been doable. It's just you only have so much manpower to hold the stairs when you're on time pressure on attack and trying to actually take the site as well. That doesn't leave you enough people to hold all these stairs. And that's why they're relying on these air jabs to do that work. And it's not always working here, but at least vertical getting one onto Eclipse already. That's some of the aggression taken down. Look at this retake here at the top floor.
It's looking pretty solid here for Reciprocity so far. I mean, their roam over by Cocktails getting them at least 2 kills so far. Reciprocity holding the white hallway. That Slash with a long angle. He'll get another. DZ falling apart before they can really get control of Cocktail. And the mirror window works against DZ despite being open, as Foxe lands another clean shot. There's the final kill, and it's a flawless round for Reciprocity. Solid lockout upstairs. The defense on Kafe really coming to Reciprocity's aid. And DZ is struggling to take that top floor especially.
Absolutely. I mean, unlike last match, I don't think this is just a case of, the attack playing poorly. It's a case of Reciprocity just playing really well today. Especially Fox, as you pointed out, but the whole team has been playing very, very well as a tight unit. Like I said, making sure there's trades, things like that. Rarely does any kill from DZ go unpunished. And it's been making a huge difference in making sure whether they have man advantage, they seem to be having map control advantage. I don't know how that'll factor on attack here, just because we'll see how DZ overplays their defenses, they're going to start on reading instead of bar, oddly enough. And in this current meta, with how much delay you can cause, I feel like bar is a pretty strong site, but at the same time, if you can delay that long on bar and force them to have to take reading after, this could be a pretty strong site to play. But it is interesting to see that they're not going to take advantage of the mirror being in play, or the echo.
It brought a good array of defensive operators aside from that, though. I mean, you don't. We always talked about like how sometimes the operators, they get banned frequently when they're not banned. Sometimes they don't get played just because they're not practiced as much anymore because they're so frequently banned. So
Yep.
yeah, you can take control of that cyclical meta and you can just use it to your advantage. And we're seeing both of these teams, I think, in this match do just that.
5 seconds left.
Well, we'll see. Now the sides have switched, whether or not that changes anything for these teams, but that's actually 2 matches in a row that we see a 5-1 on the split. It's kind of funny. And they're both on Kafe, so it's definitely building to be something of a trend today. I mean, we'll have 2 more matches after this to see, but it's more a question right now of how much longer this match will be. If the side switch gives something for DarkZero to work with here, they should have some advantage here because defense is a little bit favored in this, although some of the defensive bans, depending on what, how they want to play, could be advantageous. He had to shoot around that drone there. That was funny to see. Fox just trying to be careful not to make sloppy moves and kill his teammate's drone. Always good to see that. It's a little bit of a situational awareness prevents some of those sloppy plays that we saw from LG. Oh, there goes one disc.
Yep, this is going to be a really big momentum shift is the side swap, but we don't know if it's going to be as extreme as it usually is because we expected that with the side swap in the last match on the same map, and it didn't happen. Tempo maintained their momentum, so we'll see if Reciprocity can maintain theirs. Right now, the first hurdle, getting that top 4 control, is not looking super great as a lot of these nades have been caught by the my discs or ADSs to make clearing out Cocktail much more difficult. Habano though, going to open up the wall at the very least, and Wamai will rotate before he gets caught. That's a smart play there by Skies, leaving before the pinch can happen.
I mean, overall, good play from Skies with how many Wamai discs are catching gadgets upstairs. He's doing a good job overall, just being a huge part of this delay, along with the shield he brought for himself. And the fact that he got out alive, as you said, and they managed to burn off almost the 2 minutes, that's not a bad start here for DZ.
Opening up from above now is DZ. They're doing their best to punish those anchors, as we expect to see. Reciprocity so far going without any kills on the top 4. Low HP on Slash, though, and that's cost them for clearing out upstairs. Luckily, he's still got his gun up, and he's still able to play. Plant going down right now for Reciprocity. There's no one seemingly here to stop it. Hodden goes for a rush, and he'll get 2. That's biologic with the bad plant, and then the cover from Slash going unsuccessful, and it's just a cleanup for DZ. Now, suddenly, where an attempted plant was for 5 seconds ago, we've got Foxe in a 1v5. With 30 seconds to go, I mean, that's a lot of time to make this happen, but it's very unlikely that it will. They'll see the Valkyrie and miss the shots. Houghton with a really, really big round there. Pushing to deny the plant, killing the cover player himself, and then even getting the last kill.
Talk about flawless. I don't think a single shot hit any member of DZ that entire round. They went flawless on health as well, unless one of those shots from the buck at the end managed to do some damage. You couldn't see his health after, but wow. And the story really has been these retakes. The retakes of map control coming out from defenders on both sides has been really phenomenal. I mean, especially that round. Wow. They're like, oh, free plant, bio goes in. I'm like, cool, I'll just go ahead and here and plant this down. And then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere comes every member of DZ. And just slaughters them. Obviously, you had the Valkyrie go in first and lay down 2, and then from there just collapsed so quickly. It seemed like all the map control that Team Reciprocity had was really just, flies in the web at that point. So really nice job by DZ. Good job by Skies early on, playing Wamai perfectly and getting away with it. So Reciprocity going to have to be a little more efficient on getting an early pick if they want to be able to pick up at least the 2 attack rounds that they need. But good for them that they got 5-1 at the split, so all they've got to do is pick up 2 rounds to be able to win this.
Yeah, that's not too hard, right? Just 2 rounds on a Kafe attack. Not too difficult. You could do that.
Yeah. Interesting that they're going to mining dining instead of bar, though.
Yeah, so the middle floor presence for DZ, I think, is started to be their more popular pick. I think a lot of that hinges on eliminating the downstairs meta, just like not having to buy into that, which puts more practice hours into those 2 top floors, and then you can utilize downstairs in a different way. It kind of shifts the mentality, and you know, we've always seen teams that try to pioneer like that have their little bit of an edge, at least in their own setups, because it's again, it's different than what we're used to seeing. Although this is not too terribly different, I'll say. It's not the craziest thing. It's just, yeah, some teams don't like going to kitchen because they think it's a little too played out. They think it's a little too known, and so they'll try things different on the top 2 floors.
Well, we also saw Kitchen being held off on from Reciprocity on their defense, so they had to play it. So I can understand neither team really preferring it at the moment, as it is a difficult site to defend if you can't really hold the middle floor very well. And holding the middle floor, as you said, is kind of what DZ's been about, it seems.
Yeah, I think for some teams, it's just easier to again focus on that one specific section. Now, what holding that middle floor entails is holding all 3 floors, essentially. You need to have a roamer downstairs to deny the push-up from below, or at least get information on the push-up from below for the attack. You need to have 2 roamers probably, maybe 3 for some teams upstairs. And then you need to have at least 1 anchor, possibly 2, to try and dissuade a site rush. And, well, we got that set up right now for DZ. It's a 2-2-1 right now. But that could change at any moment. It just depends on what Reciprocity do.
Yeah, they have yet to find an initial pick again, and so this is kind of a repeat of what we've been seeing, which is things really getting slowed down here. The castle obviously slowing down a little bit as well, but they're kind of using the barricade to their advantage at the moment. This kind of a side attack is really about red stairs control, using that to your advantage. Hot and cold, the first one onto bio. That means their hard breach, if they need it anymore for hatches, is gone now, and no Maverick being played to help with that. So Fox also taking quite a bit of damage on his run around. He was the last player alive last round, and so definitely an important one, especially for any top-down control in Christmas, which you really need on the train. So he really needs to get back up there and do some work, but nope, he is slaughtered by Skies. So definitely looking like another defensive win potentially here as it dwindles down to the last minute.
Yeah, DZ looking pretty solid. Not a lot of opportunities for Reciprocity. Diffuser down as well inside of mining. They're going to have to retrieve that. Hotton on the long angle's unlikely to lose that fight. Ooh, ADS will eat up that lifeline as well. It just gets worse and worse for Reciprocity as time goes by. Ooh, that's could be a beneficial angle actually for Laxing. Nobody's exposed to it right now though. Although someone
They're not expecting it though.
Yeah, ooh, Slash actually allowed to vault into the site. I'm surprised by this. Amazed that Hotton was not holding it, and he will win the fight eventually, but he allowed the vault in the first place, which was dangerous. Reciprocity now 2v5 from a 3v5, and it just gets, again, worse and worse. Seeing the shoulder, but not seeing the player, and Skies will land a shot. Could be another flawless round here, as Laxing is twisting in the wind with barely any time on the clock. He'll vault in and die. So there's the second flawless round. DZ really racking him up on the defensive side.
It does surprise me a little bit that they're not able to get more work done, in the sense that there's no Mozzie to go with the Mozzie mute combo, so they should be droning enough to really get these positions down. But we're actually seeing a lot of, I mean, maybe we're just switching to the players who aren't on drones, but we're not seeing a lot of them doing the droning. A lot of they get in and take the map control and then they hold it, but it doesn't seem like they're droning for kills. Like they're droning to get in and take parts of the map and scare away defenders, but they're not droning to say, okay, let's go and pinch this guy or roam hunt. And then you're seeing the defenders just set up crossfires and retake positions, and every little bit of map control they get past a certain perimeter is just being punished. And it seems to be kind of the MO from both teams, really, to do that. They say, okay, here's how much you're allowed to get. If you go past that, we're going to start punishing you, and we're going to kill your drones, and you're not really going to get anything in or be able to do a whole lot with top-down control. We'll see how their kitchen defense goes, though, as they refuse to play bars so far.
Yeah, so I guess it's the top floor that DZ is avoiding, not so much the bottom floor. Interesting. A little bit different.
May not be as easy to burn as much time this time if they can't hold an effective top floor roam or some other roam, but then again, they've been effective at staying alive and getting picks as the attackers, as I said, gain map control, so it shouldn't be too bad, although I think if Reciprocity are very efficient, they might be able to gain some time on this attack.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. The overall lineup for Reciprocity is not going to be too bad for attacking onto Kitchen. Looks like they want to go for maybe a main lobby or a base. They can go for either or at this point. No, it's going to be top clear. Yeah, they could have gone for all three. They'll go for the third option. One of the less traveled roads is top clear on a kitchen defense. It takes a lot of time, and in this meta, time is of the essence. So that it's gonna need to be really quick Reciprocity if they want to take this one. Their droning is going to start at about 45 seconds into the round. That's not terrible. It's
you know what they needed?
On the faster side.
They needed Amaru. For sure.
Amaru? Yeah.
Yeah.
A Hamaru.
Amaru. Just call it
Amaru.
Just Kangaroo.
Yeah.
Oh, the angle not working out, but I like what Fox is thinking here.
Blow it up.
Yeah, it's a decent angle. It's just there's nothing there yet. It could be Hyper who steps into it. See if he does. Good control established though, and it does allow Vertical to push up on the angle. And you'll see Fox, yeah, rotate as soon as he knows Vertical's got control. Good teamwork here from Reciprocity, controlling what they need to control 100% of the time.
Well, they're spotting the shield as well. They're gonna have to clear. A lot of gadgets they're still going to have to deal with. A lot of gadgets being spotted as well, of course. But they're going to have to do some work to make sure that they can actually clear things out without the Thatcher. At least they've established vertical control now. They've got the Sledge opening up the floor. Interesting that Fox went to Sledge instead of Buck. But you know what? Honestly, Fox is a really good Sledge. He's played a lot more Sledge overall in Pro League, in my opinion. I could be wrong statistically on that, than Buck. And has overall been a good operator for him, so I can understand the switch here.
Yeah, Fox is a good Sledge player for sure. Reciprocity have one of their better setups so far through this round. It's not done yet. There's only a minute left for that execution. But I still will say that the overall setup for Reciprocity is looking auspicious when compared to some of the other ways that Reciprocity has been setting up in the past. Nade goes out, caught by a disc. Second nade will not be caught, and it will in fact land near Mint, but not do enough damage to get the kill. Just 25 off of damage Mint's HP bar, which is not ideal. We close in on the last 30 seconds. Reciprocity unable to get a pick so far. You can see DZ clearly aware of what needs to be done here and just waiting out these last few seconds, letting this time tick down to 0. Here it comes, though. It's going to have to be a freeze or take. VIP, though, still inhabited by Hyper. Hot and Cold also going to add to the kill sheet here. Hyper gets his second, and it's just looking like Reciprocity are falling apart. They have finally cleared out the main lobby, but they haven't even cleared out VIP yet. Plant going down. Slash is not going to be successful, though, as Eclipse will come in and stop that stop that plant. DarkZero, successful defensive round. They'll hold on to Kitchen.
I mean, both teams, again, playing very well. It's just, given the setup, given the map and all that, it's just running really defender-sided. Both teams are doing what they need to do on defense, which is just delay, don't give up any picks, hold your positions at the end when you need to, be ready to take any map control you can get back, and find the picks as they push into you when time runs out. It's just been textbook in that respect, and it's been working out. Attackers need to find some serious holes or some early picks here.
A quick disclaimer, I'm sorry if I'm missing important key parts here. I am seeing slideshows, so only parts, like snapshots of the actual action, and it's hard to follow everything. So I'm doing my best, and I'll aim to fix it hopefully in the next break, but we'll see. Right now, though, I'm effectively watching a slideshow set to change slides every 10 seconds.
I mean, it's coming across pretty well, given the fact that you only see every so often. So, yeah, internet is tricky. Definitely.
I'm piecing it together as I go.
Detective kicks.
Yeah, like a big part of it is like now I'm looking at the two sidebars a lot more often. That's the thing I'm noticing. I'm looking at the sidebars when it comes to the action just to see who's alive and who's dead, because I so rarely see the actual kill. Than talking in like more macro and less micro. It's weird.
I saw something on the Reddit the other day that I hadn't noticed myself before about the way the new Spectator UI works. There's a line, when it's fully expanded, the line below the gun indicates whether or not the gun's ready to shoot, meaning like if you're doing something else, like using gadget, like in this case, Laxing was picking up a drone. A second ago, as he was picking up the drone, the white line underneath his gun went away until he was back on his gun. It's an interesting small thing they added. And I appreciate the small details that would be added into the UI. So, it's one of those things I thought I'd share for people that don't check the Reddit and see that. I didn't realize that was a thing.
Yeah, it's a neato little tip there for the spectator hub. Now, we are going for an execute again on the top floor. Reciprocity, gonna need to clear that all out. Oh, it's been such a good first half for Reciprocity, and they have yet to really have anything work for them on the second half. That's pretty much the story we're in right now, and it's a struggle even to get top floor control here for Rec.
I mean, it's a bummer too because they had such a strong point lead, 5-1, and now it's looking like we could see an easy 5-5 draw. Or, you know, this might potentially just be a draw. There's a nice kill, though, by Hot and Cold to set things off again onto Fox, trying the buck out this time again instead of the sledge. Just nothing seeming to work, and it's ironic given he was the one pulling off those kills when he was on defense.
Yeah, that C4 alleviating the soft destruction is huge. There's still a shotgun for laxings, possibly still breaching charges. And there goes some more HP from Reciprocity's total as Mint eliminates Slash. Gas canister doing some damage to Vertical as he pushes up on White Stairs. And yeah, okay, you got top floor control, but those two C4s, oh boy, I mean, they really made it hurt. I don't know if it's worth it at that point. You've only got a minute left to execute. Most of your soft destruction's gone. At least you got breaching charges on Vertical, but he's got to rotate up and actually use them.
Yeah, that's really what's going to cost them is here. He needs to be playing his position, but he can't because they have to... Oh, that's right. They have the shotgun of laxing here. So at least he's going to be able to help instead so that Vertical doesn't have to use those.
Biologic getting some damage is clearly an information tool in Cocktail for the defense, and that was a good read there from Eclipse to put Bio on low HP. Whenever Bio enters into engagement, he is likely to lose it. Breaching charge is not used from Vertical. He's still holding on to those White Stairs, which means that that soft destruction will be significantly hindered for the attack. It looks like he's rotating to do it now, but it might be too little too late. It's really just on the shotgun of Laxing. Here comes the rush for the attempted plant. Biologic there to plant. Vertical to cover. Laxing dies, so it's really all on Vertical right now. He'll get one.
10 seconds left.
Covers from behind. Plant down. He'll get a second. Big round from Vertical already, even if they lose. Bio trying to rotate. Vertical down from above. Bio, low HP. He'll die real easily. This should be a cleanup for DZ. And Bio rotating upstairs. Gotta be careful now. This is a smart rotate from Bio, but he's read perfectly by Hodden, and DarkZero will take the round. A nice disable there. And the defense continues to be the zone for DarkZero. They're actually looking like they might get a win at this point.
Yeah, they're definitely just steamrolling ahead with this. That was unfortunate for Bio. He's got like 1 HP left and trying to clutch that out. You even saw a moment where Vertical's housing on his site actually potentially covered up a player for a moment on the doorway as he was trying to watch the door to cover. So it's tricky when you're in a situation like that and you just don't have the manpower because of those C4 kills to really be able to make that work. But it was a great plant attempt. Like you said, a decent round for Vertical trying to make it happen. But at the end of the day, they just are not making enough happen. Really, defense just running away with this. It is interesting to see the difference, though, in that DZ's pulling off the same amount of wins, really, but they're doing it without Bar. Whereas Bar was definitely a staple for Reciprocity, who won it twice. So they'd rather go to mining, which they'll do here a second time. So if they can continue to win this, kudos to them. This is not the most easy site to win. There are a lot of weaknesses to it now that have changed up in the way things play. But at the same time, they've been able to pull it off. They've been able to stay alive, take advantage of the vertical control not working out for the attackers. Slash is going to be taking over the soft breach role of Sledge this time instead of Fox. Fox is actually going to take over Vertical's job with the IQ. So changing things up, that's going to put Vertical on the Ash now to have him frag out a little bit more heavy. Maybe this will be what works. Maybe they're going to go a little more frag heavy. And honestly, maybe they're just going to push a little bit more aggressive instead of doing the checklist. Maybe that's the play that they need. Maybe they need to find some of those early picks and then pull back and finish the checklist. Rather than just, let's go through the motions, let's burn up time, let's be predictable, and let DZ run all over us. Maybe just go for something a little more aggressive, either bottom up or straight through the middle.
See if any of that play is actually taken into account here for Reciprocity. So far, it's all been pretty standard stuff. The setup here from DZ also very standard. Everything coming in line with your expectations for a mining defense. We're gonna get those drop downs opened up. Foxy will use a breaching charge. Kind of unnecessary.
Yeah, you had the shotgun gridlock that could easily take care of that right there.
But, I mean, they do have a sledge, so as long as the sledge doesn't die, as it has many of these rounds, then Reciprocity won't be suffering too much from this soft destruction. Again, though, it is big factor that the sledge does not die, because that's a lot of soft destruction that you need on an attack like this.
Not sure if they know the players over in the cocktail site or not, but they have someone, I think, on the window.
Good rotate there from Hyper. He'll make it back to the bomb site, avoiding death on the top floor. Reciprocity has the control they want. Took them half the round. It's decent efficiency. Great use of the IQ gadget here from Fox. He'll be getting quite a lot of that information just done away with. You can see that Reciprocity is trying to be very careful. Now that they have the top floor control, they're wary of an attempted retake from DarkZero upstairs.
Saw Bio rotating down as well, I think, towards the reading door, which means they're probably going to try and go for an execute in the near future, or at least open up for one with the X-Kairos. But Hot and Cold actually living through that engagement, definitely going to hurt a little bit here, because, of course, that's one player they could have taken out early, and he is likely to have a C4 as well, so they really need to finish off Hot and Cold if they can.
You can see Rec doing their best to take control of pillars before they go for that reading execution. Might actually be dining, though. They're also applying pressure, not dining, rather, mining, as they're applying pressure there as well. Slash will get the first kill. Hot and Cold down. Reciprocity in the lead in terms of man count. But again, it's really just a weighted out strategy from DarkZero, trying to be as patient as possible. Hyper will get the first kill for DZ. Pillars control for Reciprocity. It's being hindered, though, by the reading presence. Tracers will give away the castle, and that's Mint gone. Great read there from Foxay. Easy continuing to just wait. Clips in an engagement with Vertical, and it'll go the way of Equips. Hyper over in Train doing his best to stop the plant, but he's got to go now. C4 will actually do the job for him from below. Good read there from Skies. Good communication for the team. Laxing going for the plant. The temp number 2 will hit the 000. Eclipse, though, here to stop it, and he'll be unsuccessful. But Skies will get the final kill, and DarkZero take that round. Skies gets that disable. Eclipse handing it over. And DZ put it on match point, lining themselves up for a win, or at the very least, a draw.
Certainly look like the possibility of a draw, but I don't know. It might be a DarkZero win here, just because even when Reciprocity were doing a lot better, they still were not able to pull off the win. I mean, that was definitely their best attack round so far. They got control quickly. They were able to get some picks early. They were even able to start the plant with some time left, I suppose, like maybe 10 seconds left. But at the end of the day, DZ were just waiting in positions they weren't expecting. You saw, for example, Eclipse just laying down in the 90 of the red hallway. A totally unexpected position. The Vertical just walked into off the white stairs. They weren't able to really read into it. And again, it's those late rounds where Reciprocity doesn't seem to know the positioning of DarkZero. That's what's costing them. They don't have good flank control. They don't have good spotting of where the remaining players are left on defense. I don't know if it's just lack of droning or just lack of communication or just DZ being in smart positions that are just not being read into. There was a few spotted that last round, like the castle, but still, that was Reciprocity's best round, and they still were unable to win it, which makes me think probably going to be a 7-5 for DarkZero here.
It's certainly looking like it right now. I mean, we only saw one attack win so far through this whole... What's happened?
First part defense for them.
Oh, yeah, look at that. I just noticed that.
So maybe Reciprocity will win this, man. Maybe DarkZero sucks at this site now.
Who knows? Yeah, maybe this is the low-hanging fruit. The Reciprocity gets their chance. So we're going to a bar attack. Woo! Opportunity. I don't know. We'll see. DarkZero have been looking pretty solid on the defense.
Yeah.
Reciprocity struggling with their attacks. The executions aren't necessarily unstructured. They're just not working.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think both these teams are playing really well. I think it's just defense is edging things out, and unless Reciprocity can close one of these rounds out, it's just DarkZero with just enough edge to win 7-5 is like that. I mean, that's a good story of how this match has actually gone down. They're really both playing to the top of their game, and it just happens to be edging out a little bit. I would like to see a little bit more come out of Biologic, though. I feel like if anything is costing Reciprocity right now, is Biologic maybe not playing as well as all the members of DarkZero are holding their own. So I'd like to see a little bit more from him, especially there's plenty of players who can frag out on Habon, and I'm not asking him to frag out, but I would like him to get at least 1 or 2 kills rather than just die.
That is, of course, ideals when you get that full contribution across the board. Reading control denied to Reciprocity as Hot and holds the angle from above. Got support from his castle friend. Clips did eat some damage, but he won't die. Foxe had an opportunity to get the refrag there, but he was being very careful, trying to avoid his death, so he didn't fully commit to the engagement. So reading control being denied. Foxe is going to try his best with what he has inside of pillars, and they're going to drone out into Cocktail, try and figure out what they're dealing with. You can see this is an east take here from Reciprocity, but they need to get rid of the players in Cocktail before they can commit to this take, or it won't work out very well for them. Ooh.
Big problem here is that they brought the sledge instead of the buck, which won't allow them to attack from below, but Slash does just fine with his gun on disguise, so that'll definitely help things as the Jaeger down. That's not a huge pick, but it's certainly beneficial to them. But yeah, you're going to wish you had the Ash or the buck this round, because you're not going to have either. In fact, you could even send Laxing below at this point to try and do some work with the shotgun just to get some pressure. But we saw how effectively the downward pressure worked for them. Nice kill by Mint, who's actually just hiding up here inside Christmas uncontested. And that's going to take down Fox now, the other strong fragger on the team. So fragging power very much denied, but Slash picks up his second.
Doing a great job from that Cocktail balcony. Yeah, he was allowed to repel in, and the fact that he won against the Maestro is huge. See that Eclipse has fallen pretty far back on the castle. Hyper, though, stalwart defense over by the main bar. And he's going to get into an engagement with Slash, which will go one of 2 ways. I can't be certain which, because I don't see what's happening right now. Low HP on DZ right now. Biologic really going to have to step up in this round, but he's only got 25 seconds to make it back to the bomb site. Slash, the one with the control, and oh no, he's decided to drop top red. That's very dangerous. He puts himself, well, in a bad spot, as he's got someone behind him right now, actually. Pushing his way into Freezer, he'll die to his shotgun. Slash now really has to ace to win this round. He's got 3 seconds to do so. It won't happen. DarkZero take the 7-5. GG's come out in the chat.
Really good attempt from Slash, not only getting into a position he should have been able to get into, like you said, winning that fight against the Maestro, just being able to come in to the Heaven window like that, but he was the only one able to show up that round. You had the early fraggers denied vertical, killed in just a failed attempt to go into reading, because he was the one who was red there. They completely anticipated that. And then Fox dying as well after that, who was already out of the game. Despite his 13 kills, Slash as well, putting up a good effort. I feel like Slash is starting to find his groove on this team. But overall, just at the end of the day, DarkZero, Hyper and Hot and Cold, putting up 12 and 14 each. Just enough to edge things out. Their defense just a little bit better than Reciprocity's. But overall, I think a good match between those two. I think that was a good, solid match. A drastic contrast to the previous match.
Yeah, one attack round. Really super one-sided. I'm pretty sure it was just one attack round. It was for DZ in the first half, and that's why you get that 7-5 instead of that 6-6. So props to DZ. Really, the truth maker there is that they were able to win an attack. But overall, I would say like you said, a really good match for both teams. Both teams played really exceptionally well. Reciprocity got a little bit scared towards the end there. You could tell by the way they were playing. But overall, they had a really good match.
Yeah, I liked some of the adaptations as well when Fox was struggling on the sledge and the buck. Switching that over to having Slash take it over, and then Fox on the IQ, I think worked a little bit better. Not that last round, but overall, I think that was good to see those mid adjustments actually working out to some extent for them. Didn't lead to a win, but led to an almost win the round prior onto the reading attack. So, they were trying, like you said, a little bit scared, a little bit struggling to make the right adjustments. But at the end of the day, that overall is a better map for DarkZero. They were the ones who chose it. They were the ones who were better prepared for it. The bans maybe went a little more in their way. But at the end of the day, Reciprocity still put up a good fight, given the fact that I think things were in favor of DarkZero.
Yeah, you got to be impressed by Reciprocity's tenacity at the very least, and their performance overall. I would say Slash is the standout for me. Foxy had 13 kills. Slash putting up 10 is one of his better performances so far after joining this roster. So yeah, you got to be really impressed by that. There was a little bit of disjointedness on the side of some players for Reciprocity. I'd say their cohesion was out the window. Like a Biologic deciding to drop by top red in the end of that match. I'm not sure what he was thinking. He had Diffuser. Slash was by Cocktail Balcony. He's dropping top red. Skylight's possibly a better option, though it's exposed. Repelling East is definitely a better option. That's all just nitpicking. We've got an interview ready with Houghton, so we're going to get into that to hear what he has to say about that match. How's it going, Houghton?
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for asking, man. So, wow. 7-5 and only one attack win. Tell me, do you think it's the map? Do you think it's how you guys match up as teams? Do you think it's the meta? What is that one attack win match?
I think it's kind of like a bundle of everything that you just said. Honestly, there was a lot of attack rounds. I think like at least like 2 or 3 that we should have won. You know, we had man advantage almost every round on attack, but we just kind of like threw it on the execute. But I think Mira makes that map, very tough to attack. Obviously we didn't need it, but I think that map's already like hard to attack in general. So
yeah, it definitely is a very hard to attack map, and you guys managing to get that one, of course, the little edge that gives you the win. You in particular had a really standout performance there, Houghton, with 14 kills. You were the top fragger for the match. What was it today? That you just feeling it? I mean, I actually know. Now hang on, a little bit of story time. Houghton was one of the classic Kafe players way back in the day. And do you think that it's just a little bit of that? It's just your map? Is that the case?
I remember you always saying that, and I'm just like, I hate this map.
You play so well on it.
I know. I never liked that map though. I mean, the new one's a lot more fun than the old one, in my opinion. But I don't know. I honestly don't know. I just had a good game. My teammates gave me good calls, so I just reacted off of it.
Great job to you for that performance. Now, the way that we saw some of the strategy coming out, it was all pretty standard stuff through the whole match. We saw a lot more of the East takes be kind of prevalent. Reciprocity, especially towards the end there, we're trying to make that happen. Would you say that's a response to, again, to the meta, to the little time that you have to execute, and how an East take can be a little bit more shallow?
Yeah, definitely. Our setup was designed to like counteract the piano takes, the normal piano takes. So they basically just dodged it all together and tried going East.
Yeah, I mean, if you could kind of circumvent the defensive setup, then hopefully you save some time. But obviously, it didn't work out very well. You guys also had those setups for denying that reading control, and the double angle for that reading control, really great setup there. I love to see stuff like that. It almost worked against you guys though when Reciprocity was peeking towards it in the last round. What is it exactly that you think it makes reading so powerful for the attack when executing East?
Well, the main area to attack Cocktail, if you get the guy out of the left side of Cocktail, if you're looking at Cocktail, that spot's like the power spot. So if you kill him, you could swing in Heaven window, and then you have almost the whole site. There
you go. Great control there. Denied by an excellent setup through those holes. Were you expecting the match to play out quite like it did? Ending up being as defender-sided as it was? Did you think it was going to go to this all the way to just that one attack round? I know we already talked about that, but it still is a weird kind of situation round-wise.
I mean, we obviously definitely did not intend to only get one attack round. We scrimmed them pretty recently, I think 2.5 weeks ago, and did a lot better on attack than we did today. So that was obviously not expected. I think it's just the map design is very defender-sided, so that kind of bled into it.
Another question is about the bans in general. Our defender bans were drastically different than they usually are. The Goyo ban in particular, again, that harkens back to the meta. What are your thoughts on that? And then also, Echo, Maestro, and Valkyrie Mira all let through. What's going on there?
Well, like I just said, we scrimmed them recently, and they heavily abused Goyo on every setup. So we just kind of wanted to counter strat that and ban Goyo away. We're not really used to playing against Mira, so we didn't know if they'd run it or not, and it didn't really change the map, in my opinion. It didn't change how it felt, but who knows?
Right. Well, is there anything you'd like to say to everybody watching before we end the interview?
Just thanks for all of your guys' support, and just gonna keep going, keep winning.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Houghton, and congratulations on your win.
Thank you. Have a good one.